As we have been reporting, Standard & Poor's has now cut Spain's long-term credit rating to AA and is calling the outlook negative. For comparison, that puts Spain's rating on par with Slovenia. And this is just a day after the rating agency cut Portugal and downgraded Greece to junk. So how much trouble is the EU really in? Joining us now is Axel Merk, President and Chief Investment Officer at Merk Investments. He predicted the housing and credit bubbles, and he's also the author of the book Sustainable Wealth. Axel, always good to have you back on Bloomberg News. Thank you so much for joining us.
Good to be with you.
Axel, first let's talk about what happened in Spain today. Talk to us about that. What's going on?
Sure. Let me just give you a little different perspective. Spain, you point out that it has a very high budget deficit, but that's a current run rate. The total indebtedness of Spain is actually far below the average of any Western nation. Spain is a much more bigger country, much deeper pockets. Obviously, there's a fear of contagion spreading, but the issues in Spain are not a short-term debt problem. Issues in Spain are problems of unemployment, of a housing bust. Those are very different structural issues, and sure, there are issues that need to be addressed, but they are very different from the issues that Greece is facing.
Axel, how bad is the situation in Greece? We had the OECD Secretary Angel Gurria telling Bloomberg today that the situation is like Ebola, threatening the stability of the financial system. And we are seeing the cost of insuring Portuguese and Spanish debt against default surging to record levels. How bad is it?
I think the most important thing is that we need to get clarity of what the policymakers are willing to do. This is not a monetary question where the European Central Bank can help out. This is a political question. Is there political will to give a bailout? Is there political will to kick out Greece? Is there political will to do something that we would prefer to put Greece into something like conservatorship?
Right.
Obviously, Greece has very serious issues. We believe that ultimately, this is not today or tomorrow, Greece will be seen for what it is. They're a small part of the Eurozone. Overall, the monetary policy in the European Central Bank is robust. But what we need to see is we need to have measures that have teeth. That means we need to take some power away from Greece to spend the money that they do.
At this point, is Greece a unique case, or are those concerns about the so-called contagion overblown?
Well, what we've argued is that sovereign debt issues are not a Greek or a Spanish or Portuguese issue. They're a global issue. Everybody, not everybody, but almost everybody spent too much money, including the US, including the UK, and many, many other countries. So those issues will be there. There will be more downgrades of sovereign debt, not just in the Eurozone. Having said that, within the Eurozone, the Portuguese are living in denial, and so they rightfully get punished right now with the CDS spreads. Beyond that, the Irish, they're in a very different situation. They have a very credible program. The problems in Greece are worse because the government is not very credible in whatever it does. And all the more so, it is important that the IMF is contributing to put in place very tough measures. The amount that will be committed has to be substantial, and then more importantly, the measures to restrain Greece from spending more money. They have to be credible, and that's what has to come out, and it has to come out soon, preferably by the ECB meeting next week.
Well, speaking of the ECB, are they going to have to relax collateral rules for Greece?
Well, yes, they have already done so pretty much. Every week, or not every week, but every meeting they relax them. So yes, they will have to relax those rules. But still, the Greek banks, they are in a very tough situation. Any bailout, any assistance programs will have to capture the Greek banks as well. We believe there's a good chance they may need to be nationalized. And so from that point of view, these collateral rules will quite likely be eased up yet again.
Axel, we have about 30 seconds left. Is short-term, yen, is that the ultimate safe play haven here?
Well, we happen to like the euro. Everybody hates it. And if you just look around what's been happening in the Eurozone, the other currencies, they are more fully priced. And so in the Eurozone, an end-of-the-world scenario is being priced in. And from that point of view, we start to see some very good value in the euro.
All right. Axel Merk, Merk Investments President and CIO, joining us. Axel, always good to have you on. Thanks so much for your perspective.
My pleasure.